What's up, guys? This is chEEse with TGN.TV, and today I've got a World of Warcraft video for you guys. Now, you guys may know me. I'm one of the new directors over on the TGN Call of Duty channel. Coincidentally, I also play World of Warcraft, so I thought I'd try my hand at a little Warlock video. So this is my Warlock. He's a Destruction Warlock for PvE. I don't really do PvP on him too much. And his name is Locktapuss. So today I'm going to take you through some of my gear, talents, glyphs, as well as the rotation and macros that I use for my Warlock. So here's a little bit at a bit of my gear. It's kind of a mix of gear from Heroics, some Valor Points gear, and then some BWD and bot gear. Maybe a crafting piece in there or two. Anyway, you can look at these one at a time if you'd like to pause the video and look at each one and the enchants and stuff I have. Now with Warlocks, the Destruction Warlock, the most important stats to us are hit and haste, and then probably crit and mastery would be last. Probably put intellect right after hit. You want to make sure you have about 17% hit. And then from there, you move down the list in order of importance. So I reforge Mastery and Crit to either Hit and Haste, and I try and gem all Intellect. Here's a look at my spec. I have Corruption in the Affliction tree, Dark Arts, Fell Synergy, and Mana Feed in the Demonology tree. I find this spec's pretty standard. Some people go with Demonic Embrace for the extra stamina, but I don't. So, of course, we have Bane. That's an obvious 3 points there. Also, Shadow and Flame, another obvious 3 points. You definitely need to have that. Of course, a 20% buff to Immolate is great. Ember Storm, also definitely necessary. Don't get Aftermath because, again, stuns and stuff like that, not really useful for PvE. Again, Searing Pain I don't use in my rotation, so I don't get that. Backdraft, absolute must for this spec. Shadowburn, it's optional. Some people don't take it. I do. Improved Soulfire, this is absolutely necessary as well. It's an 8% fire shadow damage buff that your Soulfire will put on your target. Soul Leech, pretty self-explanatory. Burning Embers, same thing. It's definitely necessary. It'll definitely increase your overall damage. I go for Empowered Imp too because I like an instant cast Soulfire. I love when that procs. Fire and Brimstone. Again, most of these talents are going to be pretty self-explanatory. There's a couple of things that you can switch in and out whether you take them or not. It won't change it a whole lot, but here's the ones that I use. Nether Ward, definitely take that. Backlash, I don't use because in PvE I shouldn't really be getting hit by any physical attacks anyway, so to me it's kind of a waste of talent points there. I upgrade my Nether Ward there with those 2 points. Shadow Fury is good. I think it's useful for bosses like Magma on the Pillar of Flames when you have to kill those little, what are they called? I don't know, maggots that spawn or whatever. And then, obviously, the 31-point talent, Chaos Bolt. Here's the glyphs that I use. I'm using the Glyph of Immolate. It's a must. You have Immolate up the entire time, so a 10% damage boost is great. Glyph of Imp, 20% boost to Imp damage on the Firebolt. That will definitely increase your damage by a lot. And then reducing the cooldown on Conflagrate is necessary to make your rotation work the way it should. Glyph of Fear is useful for heroics and stuff when you need the CC. It keeps the person or the target you're fearing in place instead of running around, so they don't aggro other things. Shadow Flame is good. This glyph puts a 70% movement debuff on the target. That's also good for Magma and times when you will need to slow down a pack of mobs so that your raid can burn them down. And then the minor glyphs, they don't really matter. You can pick whatever you want there. Alright, so that is a little bit of a look at my gear, talents, and glyphs. In the next video, you are going to see some of the rotation and as well the macros I use. Alright guys, in this part of the video we're going to look at the rotation for the Warlock as well as the macros that I use, and there aren't a whole lot of macros personally, but maybe you guys can tell me a little bit more about Warlock macros. I'm pretty new to Warlock. I've mainly played Warrior, so this is my first time kind of with the Warlock. So normally what I do is I start out with Curse of Elements, then I move to a Soul Burn, Soul Fire right off the bat to get the debuff up. Then I cast my Immolate, my Corruption, then I throw out Bane of Doom and pop my first Conflagrate. And then from there you throw out my nuke, which is Chaos Bolt, a couple Incinerates, and then basically it's rinse and repeat on that, making sure that I keep up the Soul Fire, 8% Shadow and Fire damage debuff that we spec for. So even if I have to hard cast Soul Fire, I do that to keep that debuff up, and hard casting it seems to fit into the rotation without too much trouble. So here I'll take you through it, a little bit of the rotation here. So Curse of Elements, then I had my Soul Burn, Soul Fire, my Immolate, and Corruption are up. I actually forgot to throw up Bane of Doom here, but so make sure you don't forget that. And then there I'm casting my improved Soul Fire to make sure again that debuff is up the entire time. So basically you're just making sure to keep your dots up, keep up that Soul Fire debuff, Soul Fire buff I guess it would be, and then just conflag, make your 3 hard casts and keep going through the rotation. Don't forget to pop Demon Soul whenever it's up. You might want to save that for when you pop Heroism or Time Warp if you're raiding. And yeah, that's basically the rotation. It's not too complicated. Also make sure you keep Dark Intent up, on like a Shadow Priest or Survival Hunter or Fire Mage, someone that uses a lot of dots. That's going to be a big help for you there. And yeah, so here's just another quick look at the rotation at full speed, and we'll see what kind of damage I can pull here. I think normally pulling something like anywhere from like 12.5 to 14.5 thousand DPS on a target, or on the rating dummy here. Now that usually goes up by a decent amount when I'm actually in a raid. Obviously I have the full raid buffs, flasks, and buff food, so the damage will go up. I think right there, the bottom right now, I'm pulling 12.7 KDPS. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm always looking for ways to improve that, and so if you guys want to let me know in the comments below some things that you do with your Warlock, maybe changes in your rotation, or different gemming, different gear, different glyphs or talents that help you guys pull good DPS. I'm always open to hear it. Like I said, I don't have a ton of experience with the Warlock. I always played Fury, Arms Warrior, and mainly PvP, so I'm also kind of new to PvE. So, I mean, any tips you guys have for me, I'll definitely be reading in the comments. Check it out. So there we are. I stopped my rotation, and I stopped at about 12.5 KDPS. You can see Incinerate is the #1 damage doer for me, followed by Conflag, and then Immolate, the dot. So yeah, that's basically how my damage breaks down in terms of my rotation. Again, if you guys have any tips for me, something I'm doing wrong, maybe you think I shouldn't be hard casting Soulfire. I've heard kind of conflicting arguments on that. Some people don't hard cast it, and they'll only use it when it procs from their imp, or when soul burn is up and they kind of space their soul burns out over a fight. Here's a look at some macros that I used. I don't really use many. I do use one nice trick here that increases your imp damage, is to add in your imp's to macro in your Imp's Firebolt to all of your major abilities. I think there's a bug with the Imp where he doesn't actually cast the Firebolt as frequently and as often as he should. So what I've done is I just took that little piece of, that little line right there where /cast at pet target exists, Firebolt, and I macroed that into all my major abilities so that I'm spamming all these buttons constantly, so he should be spamming his Firebolt at the same time, so that just helps, boost your damage a little bit. And I'm not sure if that's still applicable or not, but I heard it. There was a problem with the Imp. I'm not sure if they fixed it or not, if that's necessary anymore, but yeah, anyway, that's one thing I do with all my major spells. The only other macro that I really use is on my Ritual of Summoning and my Healthstone, I add this little, /say, please click the green portal, because nothing pisses me off more than when I'm trying to, put up a summoning portal or a Healthstone for people when no one clicks it and I'm just standing there like an idiot. So I put that in there and people seem to really catch on fast and actually click the green portal. Anyways, guys, that's been rotations and macros that I use. This is chEEse, aka Locktapuss, with TGN.TV. Peace out.